in the headlines of this hour on VTV News. National Assembly concludes 5th extraordinary meeting. And later on, our Prime Minister speaks at discussion on ASEAN at WEF Davos 2024. And in our world news, Pakistan fires back at Iran as regional tensions boil.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it is 8 a.m. local time and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyền Trần with the top stories. The National Assembly approved the amended land law at the extraordinary session in Hanoi on January 18th. The new law, which has 16 chapters and 260 articles, received support from 432 out of 477 deputies at the session. The same day, the National Assembly approved the amended law on credit organizations. Deputies also approved a resolution on specific mechanisms and policies to implement national target programs and resolution on the use of general reserves and central budget reserves of the medium-term public investment plan for the period 2021 to 2025 for ministries, central agencies, localities, and Vietnam Electricity Group. The 15th National Assembly's 5th extraordinary meeting wrapped up on Thursday morning under the chair of National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ. The closing session saw the attendance of former Party General Secretary Nông Đức Mạnh, State President Võ Văn Thưởng, former State President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc, Chairman of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Central Đỗ Văn Chiến.
In his speech at closing the session, the top legislator said the meeting completed its entire agenda in the 3.5 days of sitting, passing the amended land law and amended law on credit institutions. Consisting of 16 chapters and 260 articles, the amended land law specifies the land ownership regime, rights, and responsibilities of the state representing the collective ownership of the people over land. It also addresses unified land management, land use and management regimes, as well as the rights and obligations of citizens and land users regarding land within the country's territory.
I highly valued the responsibility, effort, and close coordination demonstrated by the agencies of the National Assembly and the government, and relevant organizations in meticulously preparing and ensuring the thoroughness of content, thus making it easier for National Assembly deputies to pass important and necessary matters in a short period of time to prepare and conduct the meeting.
Meanwhile, the amended law on credit institutions comprising 15 chapters and 210 articles will be effective from July 1st this year. Regarding mechanisms to decentralize the management and implementation of national target programs, the top legislator stressed that the National Assembly unanimously approved a relevant resolution.
I urge the National Assembly to continue upholding the spirit of proactive legislation, effective supervision, timely determination, and breakthrough development, working closely with the government and other entities within the political system to successfully fulfill socio-economic development tasks in 2024 and the 2021 to 2025 period, and ensuring rapid and sustainable development of the country.
National Assembly deputies also scrutinized and made decisions related to financial and budget plans. Accordingly, the legislature approved the allocation and utilization of nearly over $2.6 billion for tasks and projects in 5 sectors: national defense, security, state management, science and technology, and transportation.
State President Võ Văn Thưởng on Thursday held a meeting with 50 delegates featured in the Vietnam television's program Việc Tử Tế or Kindness last year. State President Võ Văn Thưởng conveyed his appreciation for meeting the exemplary individuals featured in the program. He underscored that in a Vietnamese tradition and culture, kindness is not only a commendable virtue, but also a positive life attitude and a lifestyle and a moral choice revered by the Vietnamese people. The state president expressed his hope that the noble tradition of kindness ingrained in the Vietnamese people will be further promoted and widely disseminated, giving rise to a movement where each person contributes a kind deed. He believes that such a collective effort will imbue the country's development with genuine and profound significance. Prime Minister Phie attended a discussion on ASEAN as the main speaker in the framework of the 54th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum, or WEF54, in Davos, Switzerland on Thursday, local time. Other speakers at the event included the Thai Prime Minister, the Speaker of the Philippine Lower House, and the Director General of the World Trade Organization, or WTO.
At the discussion, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh underlined three important factors behind the development of ASEAN, which are unity in diversity, the resilience of the bloc as a whole and each member country, and inclusive development with the people as the subject, the center and driver of development. Each country member contributes to ASEAN's development and at the same time maximizes their own potential, outstanding opportunities, competitive edges, and capacity, while ensuring adherence to competition and demand-supply rule of the market.
Prime Minister Minh Chinh, can I ask you whether Vietnam perhaps can, in a nice way, benefit most as a substitute manufacturing base, as firms, wherever they are in the world, perhaps look to diversify away from China? Would you agree?
I do not agree with this comment. Vietnam's development goals are nothing related to being the sole winner in all cooperation. There is an old saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Vietnam always aims for mutual benefits. The current shift of the supply chain is inevitable. Investors see benefits, they invest. Countries can only maintain sustainable development through choosing a win-win approach, respecting the choice of each country, and building trust based on sincerity, solidarity, and interest balance.
The Vietnamese Prime Minister was of the view that the digital economy should be closely associated with the green economy with reciprocal support and effect. The process of digital transformation should be conducted following a roadmap with steps suitable with the capacity of each country, taking into account disadvantaged groups, he said, laying emphasis on sustainable and rapid development without sacrificing equity and social security.
5 to 10 years, where is ASEAN? What's its place in the world compared to today?
In the next 5 to 10 years, ASEAN will be a united bloc and the growth center of the world where no one is left behind in economic development.
Punchy, I love that answer. Dr. Ngozi, final word.
The speakers at the discussion spoke highly of Vietnam's role in promoting unity within ASEAN and joining hands with ASEAN members in handling regional and global issues. They shared Prime Minister Pham Minh Chin's view on ways to optimize opportunities and handle challenges during the win-win integration process of ASEAN.
Prime Minister Pham Minh also chaired a talk with representatives from world-leading banks and financial investment funds on investment in Vietnam's financial market in Davos, Switzerland on Wednesday local time. More to follow.
Representatives from leading global banks and financial investment funds noted that Vietnam has emerged as one of the world's fastest-growing countries in recent years, boasting favorable conditions for the establishment of financial centers. During the discussions, leaders from various ministries, branches, and Ho Chi Minh City addressed inquiries from corporations regarding strategies for developing financial markets. Topics included institutions, mechanisms, legal frameworks, and the ownership ratio of foreign investors. Summing up the dialogue, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh updated deputies on the nation's accomplishments over nearly 4 decades of development. Notably, as of the end of 2023, Vietnam has successfully attracted over $468 billion in total registered FDI capital, with approximately $300 billion dispersed. He called upon experts, banks, and financial investment funds to provide policy advice, share experiences in selecting appropriate development models, and propose solutions for establishing a financial center in Vietnam.
He underscored the government's commitment to accompany businesses and investors, emphasizing a continuous dedication to listening to their needs for mutual development.
During the World Economic Forum, Prime Minister Phie had bilateral meetings with his Slovak and Cambodian counterparts. More in the following story.
During the meeting with his Cambodian counterpart Hun Manet, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh highlighted Vietnam's recent celebration of the victory in the southwestern border defense war, emphasizing the joint triumph over the genocidal regime of the two countries. The two prime ministers shared the wish to enhance transportation connectivity and coordinate with Laos to promote One Journey, Three Destinations tours. Both leaders agreed to speed up the demarcation and border landmark planting on the remaining 16% of the shared borderline.
At the meeting with Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh affirmed that Vietnam always treasures the traditional friendship and all-round cooperation with Slovakia, and thanked the government and people of Slovakia for their support throughout the past 70 years, especially in education and training. The Vietnamese leader highly valued Slovakia's support and signing of the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement, EVFTA, and ratifying the EU-Vietnam Investment Protection Agreement, EVIPA. He affirmed that Vietnam always supports Slovakian firms in investing in the country, and asked for Slovakia's help to push for the removal of the European Commission's yellow card against Vietnamese seafood export. The Slovakian Prime Minister expressed hopes for visa exemptions for Slovakian citizens in Vietnam. The two prime ministers agreed to strengthen collaboration across all areas, while supporting each other in multilateral cooperation mechanisms and forums.
Also on the same day, Prime Minister Pham Minh had separate meetings with leaders of international organizations in Davos on the sidelines of the 54th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum.
Talking to Director General of the World Trade Organization Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the Vietnamese Prime Minister praised the organization's cooperation and support in Vietnam's international and economic integration. He voiced concerns about protectionism and new standards related to climate change, and pointed to difficulties posed by those obstacles to developing economies. He asked the WTO to persuade developed countries to provide technical support for developing economies, noting that a suitable roadmap is needed to meet those standards. The Director General informed Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh that a delegation of the EC had held a working session with the WTO, during which they listened to the views of developing countries and the WTO called for necessary technical support.
Meeting the Director General of the International Labour Organization, ILO, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh affirmed that Vietnam always attaches great importance to cooperation with ILO, and asked for the organization's support in dealing with issues related to laborers affected by energy transition and digital transformation. The ILO leader spoke highly of Vietnam's engagement in labor and employment issues. The two sides agreed to continue to work closely together in the future, and uphold international solidarity, multilateral cooperation, and the role of international organizations in the current unpredictable world situation.
Meeting World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, Director General Darren Tang, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh thanked the organization for supporting Vietnam over the years, including in building and implementing the National Intellectual Property Strategy until 2030, and expressed his hope that WIPO will continue to give Vietnam advice on how to do better in intellectual property protection. For his part, WIPO's Director General described Vietnam as a model in attaching importance to intellectual property protection. He affirmed that the organization will continue to support Vietnam.
Coming up next on VTV News. People's Procuracy of Dak Lak Province proposed jail sentences for defendants in terrorist attack case. And later on, Yên Bái Province develops medicinal herbs cultivation. You're watching VTV News Live. On Thursday, representatives from the People's Procuracy of Daklak Province presented charges and proposed sentences for 100 defendants implicated in the terrorist attack case in Daklak. The defendants' confessions are consistent with the results of scene forensic and judicial examinations, as well as documents and evidence collected by the Security Investigation Agency of the Provincial Department of Public Security. They have confessed and expressed remorse for their crimes. The People's Procuracy urged the trial panel to issue the death penalty for the two primary defendants charged with terrorism. Additionally, life sentences were recommended for 11 defendants, while the remaining defendants were suggested to receive penalties ranging from 12 months to 20 years of imprisonment. Farmers in Theo have seen an increase in profits for fall-winter rice cultivation this year. They are earning an average profit of over $1,400 per hectare, which is about $700 more compared to the previous year. This increase can be attributed to the decrease in prices of fertilizers and agricultural materials during the fall-winter season. According to the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development of Theo Province, the fall-winter 2023 crop has been harvested by farmers in the province. Harvesting has been completed on more than 66,500 hectares, which represents over 93% of the total sowing area. The average yield is estimated to be nearly 5.5 tons per hectare. In many regions of Vietnam, the efficient cultivation of medicinal plants has enhanced local farmers' lives. Connecting the growth of medicinal plants with forest protection is crucial for restructuring crops, aiding in environmental preservation and conserving rare medicinal plant resources. More in the following story, which was recorded by our reporter in In Binh District, In Bai Province.
Golden camellia and alga wood have become valuable products in Son Lam Commune in Binh District. Thang's family stands out as a model in the commune, fostering a rich ecosystem of medicinal plants. Previously, they grew less profitable large timber trees on 2 hectares of land. Transitioning to golden camellia and alga wood has now brought them 5 times more profits.
Cultivating a diverse ecosystem of medicinal forests aims to enhance efficiency on the same land area, increase income for people, and reduce labor risks. If one type of plant doesn't succeed, there are others to compensate, making the overall labor investment more resilient.
The success of growing medicinal plants has caught the interest of many locals. In 2019, Thang founded the Binh An Medicinal Cooperative, involving 32 members and expanding the cultivated area to over 100 hectares. They focus on 3 main types of intercropped medicinal plants: alga wood, golden camellia tea, and payola plant.
By planting 3 crops together in one area, each unit of land earns an income of $1,800 to $2,000. This not only saves land but also improves the efficiency of labor for the local residents.
Currently, the cooperative is expanding the cultivation area for other rare medicinal plants to meet the demand for pharmaceutical raw materials in the country.
The care techniques and environmental conditions are suitable for the expertise of local residents. We plan to focus on cultivating key medicinal plants to boost the community's economy in the future.
In Bai Province, with over 400,000 hectares of forests, is exploring new directions in highland agriculture by linking the cultivation of medicinal plants under the forest canopy in a value chain.
2024 is the year of the dragon in the Vietnamese lunar calendar. In preparation for the Lunar New Year, many craft villages have produced dragon-shaped products. At Batam Pottery Village, a variety of unique dragon-shaped items have been introduced to the market prior to the 2024 Lunar New Year, attracting numerous consumers.
These days, artisans and workers from this pottery village are busy creating a series of dragon-shaped products. The patterns of these products are inspired by historical dragon images from Vietnamese feudal dynasties.
I chose the dragon image from the imperial seals. They all reflect the majesty of the Vietnamese dragon. The atmosphere in the workshop is very light these days. Making products for Tet makes us happy because it's also a sign that the new lunar year is approaching.
To ensure that each product reaches consumers, craftsmen must undergo a series of elaborate and sophisticated manufacturing steps.
The process of making a dragon-shaped product is like assembling a puzzle. We have to work around the clock to maintain the schedule.
We have a collection of golden ceramic products. However, in line with market trends, we have incorporated new painting technology to enhance the value of the products. Each work in this collection is a unique piece. On the base of the product, you will find calligraphy words representing peace, convenience, and progress in the year 2024.
Unique dragon-shaped products are easily found on social media today. They not only have high aesthetic value but also symbolize peace and prosperity for everyone in the new year.
Coming up next in our world news. Pakistan fires back at Iran as regional tensions boil. And generative artificial intelligence dominates Davos discussions. Moving on to our world news. Tensions are escalating between Iran and Pakistan as both nations exchange attacks. Iranian state media reported that missiles from Pakistan struck a village in the Sistan-Baluchestan border province, leading to the tragic deaths of at least 3 women and 4 children. On the Pakistani side, the foreign ministry confirmed conducting targeted attacks on terrorist hideouts in Iran's Sistan-Baluchistan province, resulting in the elimination of many terrorists. This retaliatory action is seen as a response to Iran's missile and drone strikes on terrorist elements in Pakistan's Baluchistan region on January 16th. Gold prices fell to a more than 1-month low on Wednesday. Spot gold was down 1.2% at $2,003.89 per ounce, lowest since December 13th. The U.S. gold future also decreased to $2,006.5 per ounce. Economic experts attribute the pressure on gold prices to market doubts about the possibility of an early interest rate cut by the U.S. Federal Reserve. However, the ongoing political risks are predicted to continue, providing support, keeping gold prices around $2,000 per ounce mark. South Korean tech giant Samsung Electronics has unveiled its first artificial intelligence or AI-powered smartphone, the Galaxy S24, featuring real-time translation support. The Galaxy S24 supports 13 languages, including English, Chinese, Japanese, and Vietnamese. For instance, with Vietnamese translation AI settings, users can translate spoken Korean to Vietnamese and vice versa by simply pressing a button. And this translation function works without an internet connection. The camera and photo video editing features targeting teenagers and those in their 20s are highlighted and enhanced with artificial intelligence for sharper images compared to previous phone models. The rise of generative artificial intelligence has dominated private and public discussion at the ongoing 2024 World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Around 30 separate panel discussions are dedicated to the theme Artificial Intelligence as a Driving Force for the Economy and Society. More in the following story.
The contents of the 2024 World Economic Forum are being discussed by world leaders, business executives, and heads of international organizations. They are focusing on the explosion of artificial intelligence or AI, which is opening up numerous opportunities.
But if we look at the new technologies, for example, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, these can increase the global productivity with 30% in the coming decade. That would be the highest increase in productivity that we've seen.
First of all, let's not forget that AI is also a very significant opportunity. And our continent also has a huge competitive edge when it comes to industrial data.
However, the swift advancements of AI can also pose significant challenges for regulatory authorities.
There's risks that are here and now. Right? For example, you can take something like deep fakes and what it could do to the democratic process, or you could take bioterrorism. These are here and now issues, and those things should be dealt with regulations of the application domain and the dissemination of information and what have you.
The development of AI has made it one of the fastest and most impactful innovations in the fourth industrial revolution. Some experts compare its impact on the global value chain to the significance of the steam engine in the first industrial revolution.
Now, before we say goodbye, let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that is it for our morning news bulletin. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.